In this video, we're going to be starting on page word 10. In this section, we're going to be talking about selecting text, because generally before you delete, edit, or format text, you must select it. Selecting text involves clicking and dragging the I-beam pointer across text to highlight it. You can also click with the right pointing mouse pointer and the blank area to the left of the text to select multiple lines or even paragraphs. Okay, now we're going to go into the different steps that's on here. Be sure that you take a look at the bottom of page word 10 as far as table A4 there, which talks about methods for selecting text, and really this is selecting different amounts of text on there, because generally to select any amount of text, we're going to be taking a look at dragging our I-beam pointer over the text. If you want to select an individual word, you will double click that word, and we'll take a look at that here as well. To select a line of text, you take your mouse pointer and you put it over here in the left margin, and notice how it turns into a right pointing mouse pointer. That will select an individual line. If I do that, notice it selects the entire line, or down here as well. If I want to select a sentence, I can press and hold my control key and then click the sentence I want to have. If I'm going to select a paragraph, I can triple click the paragraph or double click with my right pointing mouse pointer. If I want to select a large block of text, generally I'm going to click at the beginning of the selection, press and hold my shift key, and then click at the end of the selection on there as well. Now this one is a very important one if you take a look at multiple non-consecutive sections. This is very important. If I want to select this line right here and this bottom line right here, I need to press and hold my control key. So if I select this text right here, I can press and hold my control key, and then notice that I can select multiple text that is non-consecutive. There's a big gap here that's not selected. That's very valuable, especially when you get into Excel on there. That is a very important thing to know. And then of course to select the entire document, you can either press Control A, or you can triple click your mouse pointer in the text over here, or you can click on the select button in the editing group and select all. Okay, as far as the steps goes, what we're going to do now is we're going to go through here, and it tells us first of all we want to click the Show Hide button. Now the Show Hide button is in the paragraph group, so here's the paragraph group on there. And as we said, here's the Show Hide button. If we place our mouse pointer over it, notice that it gives us the screen tip of Show Hide. We can also press the Control plus the asterisk key as well. And what the Show Hide does is it shows us formatting marks, and these are special characters that appear on your screen, but they do not print when you actually print this out on paper. They include several different things. So if we click on this, here's our different Show Hide marks. We have our paragraph symbol here, which shows the end of a paragraph, or whenever you press the enter key. If you remember, we pressed enter there, 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 and then we double entered here, so there's another one, and there's one right there. It also shows some dots, and if you look closely in between these words, there's dots that are there, and those are going to be wherever you hit the space key. And then finally you have the arrows on here, and that's where you hit the tab key on there, and those are going to show you the tab stops that's there. So now that we have, this is a very valuable tool for editing your document. Step 2 now tells us we're going to click before QST managers and drag our I-beam pointer over the text to select it. So if I go through here, I'm going to click here, and I'm going to drag over this way, and notice that it selects the text. Now, where I have this selected, we can go on to step 3, and that tells us that we want to type in marketing staff. So whenever you have something selected like this, whenever you start typing it, it's just going to replace the text on there. So step 3 told us to type in marketing staff, and there you go, it's replaced the text. Step 4 tells us that we're going to double click Ron on here. So underneath that in the from, here's Ron. If we double click this word here, it should select it whenever you double click that. That's going to select the entire word. And then what we're going to do is we're going to type your first name on there. So I'm going to go ahead and type my first name. And I'm not Jeff Dawson, so we're going to continue on with the step, and it tells us that we're going to select Dawson on there. You can double click on that, and that will select it, and then replace that with your last name. Step 5 on there tells us that if we place the pointer in the left margin, or to the left of the RE on here, so that the pointer changes to a right pointing arrow. We're going to click on that, and that's going to select the line. And when we do that, we're going to retype in some information. So we're going to replace this to RE colon tab tab launch of new Vietnam trekking tour. Of course, a quick tip: if you delete text by mistake, or if you overwrite text by mistake, immediately click this undo button up here. Whenever you do that, that's going to undo that mistake that's on there. Step 6 tells us that we're going to go down to the third line in the first paragraph, where we have here sultry. And that's the word we're going to have that. We're going to select sultry. You can select that any way you want to. So we have sultry selected in the third line of the first paragraph, and we're going to type in meandering. So that has overwritten sultry on there. And then we're going to replace misty forest with stunning limestone peaks. So we're going to select misty forest, and then we're going to replace it. Step 7 tells us that we want to select the sentence, Wim Hoppengarth is in Hanoi hammering out the details. So we're going to select this sentence here, and you can select that in any different way that you want. I'm going to press my control key and click the sentence, and notice it selects the entire sentence, and then it tells me I need to press the delete key. So whenever you select text and press the delete key, that's going to remove it from the document. Step 8 on there tells us that we want to click the ShowHide button again up in the paragraph group. Notice that it looks pressed in and it's kind of lit up when you have it clicked the first time. If we click it again, notice that all the formatting marks disappear, and those are now what we call turned off. And we're going to click the save button up here, and that is going to save our document. Now the ShowHide button is what we call a toggle button, which means that you can either turn it on to use formatting marks, or you can turn it off to not use them on there. So compare your memo that you have been working on so far with the one that you currently see on the screen. You can also take a look on figure A8, which is the edited memo with replacement text, and compare it against that. Just remember that if you ever run into any trouble, if you make a mistake, you can deselect the text by clicking anywhere in the document window. So if I select something like this right here, and I didn't mean to select it, I could just click somewhere else and it will deselect it. Okay, we're ready to move on, so complete up the task that is on page Word 10, steps 1 through 8, and we'll see you during the next video.